Hello and welcome to day 36 of the 40-day fast. And today I received a new camera in the mail. It's a Microsoft Web Studio Plus. It's the best they have, and they say that the microphone is very sensitive. It picks up all the noises in the room. So I'm just testing it right now and trying it for the 36th day. And try to zoom out a little bit. She's coming out. Come on, some more. Alright. By the way, today I'm dressed in this attire because this Saturday I'm going to be, I was invited to sing the song The Impossible Dream. The Impossible Dream. But let me start correctly. So it's day 36 of the 40-day fast, doing it with grapes since day 11 up until now. So this Friday, it ends the 40-day period, but like I say, if I keep feeling strong like the way I've been feeling, I'm just going to keep it doing the grapes for up to 60 days, then probably stop in March 11, because that will be 30 days of the grape one. Will be 40 days of the fast, 10 days on water and 10 days on grapes, but it will be 30 days of grapes, so I can do 30 days more on the grapes. So we'll see what develops. But this is what's happening right now. So I'm happy that I received this camera. So this is I'm dressed this way because I went to DD's discount store. They sell good stuff there, but at the price that I like. And so I got me this for the funeral because they wanted me to sing the Impossible Dream at the funeral. This is a great teacher that passed away. She was in her 80s. She taught my son, my oldest son, Shamgar. They taught him when he was in the when he was there in that school. So so he's gonna be there too. But so this is what I want to. So that's why I'm trying out. Bought me new jeans. This new pants, size 28. Shirts are small, by the way. Size small, but look, it's already loose. I mean, like for being small, it's already like going. It already fits big on me, and this is small size. But well, praise God. Now, some of the subscribers are asking, what am I been doing? And that's a good question. And to be fair with you, I haven't really spent that much time talking about that, and I think I should. So basically, to lose all that weight, because you've been seeing the pictures and you see how big I was. It all started, back in 2003. So I'll give you a run history of this, and tomorrow I'll start with more details. This whole week is about the details of what I've been doing. And so I'll keep you informed with that. But so it started in 2003, and that year that's when I developed the works. I call it the year of the works because that's when I developed everything. Started at the beginning of the year. I was having manifestations of diabetes, but I could not recognize what it was. And I thought I was starting healthy at the beginning of the year, and I started juicing, and that made me even worse because I had no idea that I had diabetes. So when you're diabetic, you don't go juicing because the juicing makes the sugar go up like that really fast. And so I felt strange when I had to stop doing that because I thought I was gonna start doing healthy things with that. And so, but later on in summer, I discovered this diabetes that I had. But during the whole year, it was kind of weird. There were moments of energy, moments I felt really lethargic, and I didn't know what was going on with me. But that year, I have always worked with non-profit organizations that don't pay, for unemployment benefits and don't pay for health insurance. But that year at East LA Light and Life, they pay you for insurance, and I had Kaiser, so I decided to use it to go check myself, and that's when I discovered that close to the summertime that I had everything: high blood pressure, my triglycerides were up there, everything was cholesterol, high blood pressure. And on top of that, I also had problems that year also with gallstones. The gallstone will, the attack of gallstone will come every now and then. So all these things were going on at the same time. But I had learned during the process of that year to get rid of the gallstones naturally, doing the liver flush, and that's where it started. And for that and I recommend that if you haven't done a liver flush, it's not just for the people, that have gallstones. If you have gallstones, right away you should do it. But the liver flush is for anybody that hasn't done it. It flushes the liver, because the little stones, the stones that the stones that go into the bladder are formed like little pieces of sand, made out of cholesterol, by the way. But they start from the liver, and they are deposited into the bladder. And so it's good to do the liver flush, because it not only cleanses the filter of your body, which is the liver, and you can read about that when you go to CureZone. And this is what but I want to leave here, so you can always come back to this if you don't have time to write it. But you always go to www.CureZone, CURE, Z as in zebra, ONE.com. So you always go there, and then you can put in the search box, you can put liver flush. And now once you get into that, you're going to, you go to the search box for the CureZone. There's a Google search box for CureZone and a search box for Google. But just go to the CureZone Google search, type liver flush, and then it's going to give you the list. And the one that I did, which worked for me, and it got rid of my stones right away with no pain. I had to dedicate a whole day for that to do it, but the next morning they were all gone. And I think I recommend after that you do it every 2 years, and I haven't done it since then. I should do it sometime later on, maybe this year again. But I don't think my liver is that bad now. It's probably all cleaned out, but just in case, But that's what they'll teach you about the liver flush, and so that's the place to go. So that's how it started. So I knew that naturally there were ways that you can take care of your ailments. So finally, when I went to the hospital, because I felt like my heart was beating really fast, so I got kind of nervous. So I went to the hospital to find out what was going on. I finally decided to make use of my insurance, because I had insurance the only year that I had insurance. So I went to use Kaiser, and when I got there, I remember the doctor and the nurse coming to see me with their faces a little down. Mr. Castro, we're sadly to say that, but you are diabetic. That's why you're here. Oh, I said, oh. Well, I just made a joke out of it, because they was in such a somber mode. I told them, well, I said, I have always prayed the Lord to make me a very sweet person, and He finally made me a diabetic. So they chuckle a little bit, and then they say, I said, don't worry, doctor. I just wanted to find out what I had. That's why you have all the. But now that I know what I have, I know what to look for, and I know, what I can find out, take care of myself. But thank God, appreciate it, and he prescribed medication, glyburide, little cap, because these things, I think I was like starting with diabetes. I mean, that year, so they gave me a small dosage of glyburide, the pills to take care of to control it. But so with that, later on, the whole summer, that was crazy, because that summer too is interesting. I mean, that was the year that I had to be almost off of work, almost in 2004. But in 2 years prior to that happening to me, like in 2002, I believe, yeah, or 2001, at that time I was married to my ex-wife Maria, and her wife, my ex-wife's mother had passed away, and in a medical negligence suit, the hospital got sued because they applied the anesthesia the wrong way, and she died at a surgery that was just supposed to be just in and out surgery, and it got complicated until she died. So interesting that they were supposed to waiting for a settlement from the court, the whole family, and that year when I got sick, when that the settlement was supposed to have happened maybe a year later, but for some reason the settlement came in for the whole family that year, so everybody got like a $35,000 settlement. And so interesting that right then and there, that's how God was taking care of the whole situation, because because I've always worked nonprofit organizations that don't pay for it. And that year, I happened to work in that school, and it was just for that year because the school offered insurance, and I wasn't even looking for that. It's just that that's the job that landed for me that year, and so I went to work there. And they had insurance to cover all this, research things that I was going through. And then, once I had my element like that, then there was a whole $35,000 settlement there to take care of the rent and everything else for a whole year. If I was gonna be down, I mean, it wasn't up for the whole year, but interesting enough, everything was taken care of, which I found that all fascinating, how God manages to take care of everything. But in any event, once I found out what I had diabetes, I went trying to find out how to start taking care of it, and I kept going to CureZone, to see different, because CureZone is loaded with a lot of information. The motto is educating, not medicating, and I love that logo of that place. So CureZone.com, if you have any ailment you hear of, they have all kinds of suggestions of the natural ways you can get rid of it. So that's a load of information there. That's an arsenal of information that you can all have for every ailment. You don't have to go under the knife of any doctor. The doctors, sad to say, but they're ready to cut you off. Nothing but butchers of the flesh. So sad to say, but but that's the only way they can make better money. So, but you don't have to do those things. You can go there before you hear any ailment of any kind. Just go there, put it in the search bar, and type whatever that ailment is, and they'll give you a list of things you can do. And so, I just try one thing, and it worked for me for the gallstones. So I kept going there to try different things, and I was working on that. I finally, and what happened was in September of that year. That's when I suffered a stroke. The stroke up in this side of my, the left side, and it weakened my right arm, and it weakened my right leg. So I was walking with a limp, and I couldn't hold a pick in my hand to play the guitar, so it would fall off. So God gave me an idea what to use for a pick, while I was trying to relearn the guitar. But I'll share about that later on if I find that pick that gave me an idea for. But in that event, when that happened, then I was on Plavix, some sort of Tropol, some sort of blood, for the blood pressure, and I had something for the cholesterol, and I had aspirin. I think I have about 7 or 8 medications that I was taking, and I was so weak. I had no energy whatsoever. So I decided to go to CureZone again. And I was looking, how to get rid of medication. I typed that, and it suggested the water cure. It's the first thing. So I typed the water cure. You get the water cure recipe, and then I started using it. And in a matter of about less than 2 months, I was off of all my medication. I had my energy back, even though my hand was still weak, because I was still recuperating. I still needed to sleep a lot, because once you have a stroke, your body needs a lot of rest. And but the medication, I did not need it. I mean, my sugar was being controlled just by the water cure, and my body was not reacting, with different spasms and bouts of energy, and then lethargy, and then energy. No, it was more consistent. So little by little, in 2 months, I didn't have to take it every day. I realized that I did not need any medication to balance my body at all. So with that, I just kept going with that. And I've stayed with that ever since. I take it every day, and that's my only medication. That's the water cure, which I do instead of, because I will eat, and so at first I did not change much of my diet. That's all I did. Just did the water cure for a few years, and the first 100 pounds I lost them just on the water cure. I did not changed to raw diet. I was still eating, because I remember one thing I had at the time was like acid reflux. I could not eat anything like chicharrones, like pork rinds. I love chicharrones, pork rinds. And I couldn't have it for a while because that bothered my gallstones. So that year I kind of kept away from those things. It provoked the gallstone attack, and so it will stay with me all afternoon. If I ate anything greasy or anything fried after 5 o'clock, it was still with me all night. I had to sleep, standing up you know, and so it was awful. I mean, not standing up, just leaning on the bed. I couldn't lay down. I had to like sit in my bed all the way to the, to the end of the bed and just be like this, sleeping with my legs up, and it was bad. It was a acid reflux, so and it was really bad. So I was avoiding that to begin with. But once I started with the water cure, like 4 months down the line, I noticed that I woke up with a big craving one night, for the chicharrones. Because, I was still eating meat on those days. And I went and there was a nice crispy one there in the kitchen, and I grabbed it and I just ate it. I said, I'm going to pay dearly for this. But I didn't feel a thing. I mean, no acid reflux, no nothing. Hey. Okay, so the next morning I just went and I bought me a whole bag of pork rinds, and I ate it the whole day. Yeah. And I figured, boy, I'm going to get it tonight. How stupid we can get. We want to test the limits sometimes. But nothing happened. So I said, boy, this water cure is fantastic. And then we got to see that it was taking care of a lot of things. It was taking care of the acid reflux that I had not told the doctor because I didn't want any more pills. So, I just barely was putting up with those pills. But interestingly enough, it was taking care of all of that. So the water cure did it. So I recommend that, because the first thing, you need to get the body hydrated. You gotta remember that we're 70 to 75% water, and the brain is 85% water. And the body does not have the capacity to extract water out of sodas and out of coffee and out of the liquids that we put in the body. If we put a dirty liquid, I mean any liquid that has been tainted with something else other than water, that's a dirty liquid for the body. Just think, the way to think of your body will be like, I tell people, think of your body as like a fish tank. In the fish tank there's a little bit of sand, so about maybe 25-30%, little bit of sand. And the 75% of it, is just as water. Okay? And then the rest, in there you swim all the little fishes that you have in there swimming in there. Okay. So that's how you have to look at your body. The solid part, the solid portions, the bones and stuff like that will be like that sand in there. And the rest of the little fishes are your cells. The ones outside of your teeth. That's how, like, your teeth, all the hard parts. Even though those are living, and also your bones are alive. But let's think of those as the cells. And so, but the rest of your cells are the little fishes. Okay. What if I were to take, I take soda, pour it on the fish tank, and I take, milk, I take all kinds of stuff and mix them up in there. How long you think those fishes are gonna live? That's how you have to think of your body. That certain things do not make things grow. I mean, it's like, even in the grass, you will not throw beer, or you will not throw to make it grow. You will not throw Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, and all kinds of sodas. That those things are just going to kill the grass. So even the grass will not grow. You have to grow with water, because the water is what really hydrates. And so the same with the body. The body is very equal, because it's best fed by the plant life. So it relates a lot to the plant life. Where the herbs and fruit shall be thy meal, shall be thy meat. That's the Bible. It says that was our first diet given to us, the diet before the damnation. After the curse, then we are allowed to eat meat, because that was part of the curse to enable us to, to eventually die. So God enabled that to happen. But before the curse, herbs and fruits shall be thy meat. And the word meat in the King James is food. It should be your food. So when people say, you don't eat meat, no, I do eat meat. Meat is food. But we think of the word meat as flesh. And the word meat is not flesh. The word meat just means food. So, but we've been so brainwashed into thinking that meat just has to relate to flesh. Not necessarily. In the Bible, meat is the food that you eat. What feeds your body, what really nourishes it. That's your meat. That's your food. But we have retrained, so with all this commercialized industry, especially in America, we think that meat means flesh. So when people tell me, do you eat meat? Yes, I eat my meat. I eat my food. Do I eat flesh? No, I don't eat flesh. At this point, I don't eat flesh. But I do eat meat. My meat is my food. So, if you are trying to think like that, just check yourself on that. That's a little brainwashing that needs to come out. All right. But in any event, let me get back to this. So I did the water cure for a period of almost 3 years, just the water cure without really altering. And I tell you, I went in, from that 340, I kept going down, and I even did my first fast in 2005, and that's the only time I altered my diet a little bit. I put some fruits and stuff like that in the fast, and and mostly pomegranate was the main fruit that I ate, and then water, and the water cure, the water salt, and I believe I was taking Juice Plus in those days. It's like from this company that puts all this like 17 fruits and vegetables into a capsule, and so I remember I was taking those as well. But other than that, before and after the fast, I kept on eating the same way. My steaks, chicharrones every now and then, my pork chops. I love to go and to Hometown Buffet and gorge up on any meal, but I would not drink any. After I started the water cure, I would not drink any sodas whatsoever. No sodas. And I did not have the habit of drinking coffee ever, so that was not hard for me to give up, because I did not drink coffee, and so I stuck to the water cure. So everything I would drink. I mean, I would drink only water, but I would eat anything, So I did not alter my eating pattern of what to eat. But just by following that, I was able to lose, almost go down to 250, 260, kept like that. And then from there we'll keep going up maybe to 65, to 70, and then go down again and up again within the level too. So, until I began to make major changes to the foods I ate, that's when actually the rest of it came off. But I'm going to tell you more about it tomorrow. But I thought I'd share this today, so the beginning. So, to tell you more about the water cure, you can always find out the testimony of the water cure is found in watercure number 2.com. So the water cure altogether, water cure. I spell water and cure right next to each other. CURE, cure, and the number 2.com. It will tell you to hundreds upon thousands of people that have posted testimonies there of how the water cure has helped them with everything. And so you will see the testimony there, and you go in there, you look for critical information on water cure, and I will tell you the recipe. So you can go there and check that out. If you want to know more about the author of it, he wrote a book called Your Body Many Cries for Water. You can go to watercure.com with no number, watercure.com, and I'll tell you the author who wrote that book, and you can buy his book and read more about it if you want to get into that. But that alone, that was very critical. I had to get my body hydrated. And after that, I think everything else came out easy. But that was really the beginning. So I give you the foundation of how it started with me. Tomorrow I'll explain the rest of it. But this will be all for today.